Got drinks, got smoke, got weed, got all the girls, got everything we need. And I see them all, but who brought the fat girl? Drink another, smoke another, get retarded. I know this where the party is, so get this bitch started. And if you want some liquor, girl, you can go and lick a girl. Get in it, pop till like 6 in the morning. Come break it down.
All right. Welcome to this episode of the Bros Podcast. We got a special guest, Oscar.
What up?
Gonzalez, aka Big Slick.
Yes, sir.
Good to have you, brother.
The old alias.
That's right.
How y'all feeling?
What's going on? I'm good.
Yeah.
Had a good time yesterday at Bethel's baby shower.
Baby shower.
Yeah, I hadn't seen you guys in a minute either.
Yeah,
so
dude.
It's been a long time.
This dude was stressed out the whole time. Dude.
Oh, hell yeah. I saw him, he was kind of dazed out.
Dude, staring out into the distance.
That's the first time in my life I realized I'm not a people person and shit.
Yeah,
You gotta say what's up to everybody, people you don't know and shit.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to have a conversation.
Yes.
20 minutes long.
Yeah, and it's like 20 people, 20 conversations,
That's
you
the
know?
same question. So I'm Vegas. Oh, well, fuck it's Vegas.
Everybody drives like maniacs, huh?
I mean, everybody, we all think of Vegas and we all think like, you just partying and gambling and stuff. But that's why I asked, like, how's Vegas, right? Because I don't know any other aspect of how Vegas is other than going over there and partying.
That's funny though, because people they ask like, I never actually knew anybody that was born and raised in Vegas. I thought it was just like a vacation place and shit. I'm like, no, there's people actually born there. Shit.
Have lives there?
Well, people have to work at those places. They have to work at the casinos. They have to,
With all the debauchery that goes on in the city, dude.
Somebody's got to set it up for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Raider fans,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Raider fans are.
You ever seen that picture with all the soldiers holding the city up?
The I guess the Raider the fan base the people that work in Vegas they haven't really felt kindly because they get all rowdy and shit. I mean, a lot of fans get rowdy, but they say they're special, especially when they get drunk, they get really rude, and that's what I've heard, but I've never.
I mean, and I'm sure, we've been to a few of them out there.
Yeah.
I mean, like he said, right?
But Philly's bad too. If you go to Philly, especially if you're a guest over there, I wouldn't go over there.
I mean, even when we'd go to the Charger games in San Diego, that people get out of hand. Some people can't handle their alcohol, right? Like doesn't matter where you're at. But I do think that Raider fans, they live up to that stereotype 100%. So I've seen it, right?
But there's a big Chicano fan base for Raiders. I mean, and we're heated people, so I mean that has something to do with it too.
That brings is there low socioeconomic attachment to certain football teams? You feel like
There has to be.
Yeah,
There has to be.
Well, the Raiders are a prime example. Cholos and shit.
The area where it's at, the people, that's interesting.
When they were in Oakland, dude,
Yeah.
if you've never been to Oakland,
Oh,
it's a rough place to be at, right?
Yeah.
So then they go to LA after Oakland, right? So pick up some more fans there.
Yeah.
And now they're in Vegas. They don't really have a fan base in Vegas, right? But yeah, I do think that has a lot to do with it. And I think not just football. I think baseball, right? Like Dodger fans,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You see Dodger videos all over the internet of dudes fighting each other, like it's just the way it is. And you throw alcohol in the mix, and it's just like
It's a good recipe.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
To
Yeah,
get everybody keep coming. But hey, I do want to ask. You were in the music industry, and I want to talk about your past life. Want to go a little bit in your past and your achievements. I never got to talk to you about your music things on a more professional level, on a business aspect.
right.
And tell us a little bit about that. Where
Man,
How did you start?
Yeah.
So in school, I would always write just different things, right? And then I would hear a lot of music. I'd be like, damn, so I could do this, I always love music, all kinds of music. So I was like, I could do this, and then I could probably do it better than that guy. Like in my head, right? So it was actually pretty crazy how it just worked itself out. I met some dudes in high school that were great under me, and they would record music. And so then they were like, oh yeah, we got a place to record. And it was like a little cheap mic off a computer, it was the quality was terrible, right? So one of my cousins, shout out to Carlos, he was in the music industry in San Diego. working already with some established rappers and all that. So I don't, I can't remember, like, to be 100% honest, how he came across like that, whatever shitty copy I had at the time of whatever I was doing. But he was like, "Hey, dude," he's like, "what if we get you in a studio and like start, taking this kind of a little more serious, I guess." Yeah, like a real one. So yeah, so I went up to San Diego. I recorded a song, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool," like, and the way it sounded, and just the quality was that much better, and working with real producers. And it just kind of just ran from there. Honestly, it was like kind of. I never woke up one day and was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be a rapper today." You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But yeah. No, it doesn't. I was just messing around at home, and then just kind of worked up from there, and yeah, and so had a good run, man. Had a good run.
Where did it go from the amateur, and when did it start actually putting some money in your pocket? And when did you feel like, all right, maybe this could be something that I could do for a little while? And did you ever feel like it was like forever?
Oh yeah. I always had that feeling. Like I never thought back then, and I'm sure it's like with a lot of things, right? Like not just music, but with a lot of things. Like you're hanging out with your friends, and you're like, oh, you never think like one day I'm not going to be doing this, right? Like you never think that, right? But I think I want to say, like, when we started traveling, doing shows like different places, and actually getting paid to perform, and it wasn't like crazy, like it was like $300 here, $500 there, but just simply being able to go somewhere, open up for big artists. My boy Juan from the Goodfellas, he always hooked it up too, so we got a chance to open up here locally for a lot of big artists. And so just when that ball started rolling, I think I kind of felt like yeah, this could be a career, right? This could be. But yeah, and I always thought it was gonna be forever. I never thought that I wasn't gonna be doing it one day, or that it was gonna stop, right? But it was a lot of like living at the moment, right? Like you weren't thinking about next year. What are we doing next year, right? Yeah.
It ruins the moment.
So I think it does. But yeah, I think it just got to a point where that was my life. Where like I still work here. I never stopped going to school.
Really?
And so yeah, I never stopped. Yeah, even if it was like one class per semester, dude, I just never stopped. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's kind of like a football player, right? You're still playing football.
Yeah.
But you're still going to school while you're in college.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in case. Just in case. Was that always just in case rapping didn't work out, or why were you still going to school?
Well,
Why didn't you just quit school and say, I'm gonna go full time?
because I mean, I always knew that the end game was a career, right? And I never exactly at the time I didn't know what I wanted to do.
And being a music like entrepreneur wasn't really in the.
It just wasn't. It wasn't paying bills, man.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. Yeah.
Okay, straight up.
It wasn't paying bills. It wasn't something I could live off of. It wasn't something that I said like, all right, or I wasn't doing anything that was bringing enough revenue in.
Yes.
To where I was gonna say like, okay, like I'm gonna stick to this one. If it would have been making money, then chances are I probably would have dropped out of school or something like that and just kept doing that. Yeah, like yeah. So it was just that, like, it wasn't paying the bills.
Okay. You went to perform. I don't know if I have this right, but was there government contracts when you were performing for the Air Force or what?
It was for the USO, the troops.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about that.
That was cool.
Because I thought that when my brother told me that, I was like, At the time, I was trying to make music, and I was like, like, damn, that's really cool. That's really niche.
Yeah.
I don't hear a lot about that.
Yeah. So that was I think we met one of the dudes at the Latin rap conference, I want to say, or something like that. And yeah, so it's pretty much, it was just like entertainment for the troops. We got to perform for the troops.
Okay.
And then so like being in the mix, like you meet a lot of people, and there's a lot of opportunities, you know what I mean, like got opened up from there. So a lot of it was like you go somewhere and you make yourself known, and then opportunities, arise from all that networking, and so that's how a lot of like shows and getting to travel and stuff like that got.
So I know you traveled a lot. What would you say was the best place you've been? What was the best place?
Top 3.
I really like Miami. Yeah, Miami.
Yes, sir. Come on, Yes, sir.
I really like Miami. It was early 2000s.
Hey, it's light. The face lights up. Everything, man.
I mean, it was early 2000s Miami, right? So so I'm sure I haven't been in a long time, but
They say it's not the
So-
same. I've heard.
It's a lot of
yeah,
social,
yeah.
I've heard.
it's a lot
Yeah.
of social media aspect. Like LA, the social media took over influencers. I mean,
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Like I said, the last time I was there was like 20.
reggaeton was at its full force in Miami. you
No,
think?
dude. So check this out. Okay, so
What
the first time it was right when reggaeton started like becoming So
Whoa.
funny crazy story about that. So we went to Miami to record a TV show called Cruising TV from LA, right?
Okay.
And so and we were gonna perform at this festival called Sofrito.
Sofrito, Latin, Latin American based.
Latin music festival,
okay,
right?
Okay, cool.
And
cool.
so
That's right.
at the time, the only two reggaeton songs was Gasolina and and Cuéntale by Don Omar,
Okay,
right?
yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah. So that was reggaeton for us, right? And so then we were in Miami, and all of a sudden this song is playing on the radio at all times of day, and it's Rakata, right? Like, we sitting and then so then me and my cousin were like, "What the fuck is Rakata, dude?" Like, what does that even mean, bro? Yeah. And so
What is it?
I don't know.
No.
They got their own lingo, dude.
Yeah, I think he's like talking about smashing the girl or something like that. I think, yeah. So like we went to a radio station to do like an interview, like a small interview, and we asked the dude. I was like, "What's up with the DJ? Right? What's up with this Rakata?" And he's like, "Oh, dude, Wisin y Yandel are like the biggest dudes coming out of Puerto Rico right now. Like they've been hot in Puerto Rico forever." But now, like they're jumping over the water, and dude, that just blew up after that. So then we come back, and like 3-4 months later, I hear that here, like I hear the Rakata here, right? And by this time we were over it already. I was like, I'm sick of the song, yeah. So, So there was no reggaeton, dude. So it was like I don't know, picture like all the music that you heard when you were like in middle school, I guess, right? And that was like hot at the time, so it was like a lot of Nelly, like a lot of Fat Joe, yeah. So it was like I think it was like 50 Cent, like was huge at the time. He still is, but so it was a lot of that, yeah. So it was fun, man. And it was I think it's still my favorite place that I've been when I was doing music, just because it was the first time I ever left the Valley. That wasn't Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Like it was the first time I left the Valley that wasn't Mexico, right?
That's a change. That's a good change.
Oh, super, dude. And then going somewhere where people speak Spanish and they're not Mexican,
Right.
that was to me was like, what do you mean? Like
different kind of Spanish.
Yeah, dude.
Everybody's got their own thing.
Yeah.
Calling avocados this or
everybody
has their own name for avocados.
I went to I remember
or palta,
I was we were in the hotel, and I told my cousin, I was like, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna go buy a little 6-pack. I'll be right back." So I go to the little store or whatever in the corner, and I was like, "Hey, no tienen cerveza de bote?" And then she looked at me like I was nuts, dude. She was like, "De bote," and I was like, "Yeah." So I was like, "How do I explain it, right?" And I was like, "Not bottle, but and I grab a soda can, right?" Like, and I was like, and she's like, "Oh, de lata." Yeah. I was like, okay, so it was just weird, like meeting people that were Spanish speakers that were not Mexican, dude.
Yeah, it happened to me the same thing when I was in the kitchens working out there, and I was working at a Peruvian kitchen. There was a lot of Latinos in there, but everybody had the same name for something. So I said, look, I remember getting frustrated with the lady. I said, everybody's got their name for something. I said, por favor, dile el nombre en español de España, so we can all because I got so frustrated. It was the tipping point, because I was like, we all have our names for something. It felt like, with the Tower of Babel, everybody kind of thought they spoke the same language, but they couldn't understand each other. So that's
just
true.
what is semantics, right? Yeah.
I was working with a Cuban guy. When I was working before, and they call, I guess, rines, which is a rim. They call it, or tires, or llantas. They call it. It's either or. The wheel is the tire, but they're Spanish though. Like we call it a rin, but that's tire.
Oh yeah. Okay.
No, that confused me too.
A riddle.
I'm a little bit off. Yeah.
Hey, a lot of things is like somos norteños. We're on the border. It's like estacionar, parquear.
Parquear. Well,
Park.
I think that's more of a pocho.
Yeah. So that's what I
Yeah,
yelled at
yeah,
the
yeah.
lady. I
Parquear,
yelled
yeah.
at the lady. I was like, "Esos son pochismos."
Yeah, 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 yeah.
She would try to describe things, and we were trying to push out the food. Whatever. You're yelling at each other back there.
And I almost feel like that's kind of like more of a Calexico thing, yeah. Because like I've never been in San Isidro and I heard somebody say like, "Oh, me voy a parquear," right?
Yeah.
Or like where people say chirear, like, "Oh, está
Yeah,
chireando."
yeah. My dad would drop the chapuza.
Oh, chileando.
Yeah, it's a chapuza. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's cool. Going out of the valley to Miami, I mean Mexicali is different. You got all kinds
Yeah,
of
dude.
nationalities.
Like I said, it was just like I was, and growing up here, like we're very sheltered from a lot of like real life, right? Like for and not real life, but from a lot of culture and yeah. So we're not too diverse here at all, right? So
yeah.
So I think just stepping out, seeing something different, like I definitely came back, like, and I was just like, whoa, like this. There's a lot more out there, right? That I want to see. Yeah.
Foods too,
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And that's a damn torta, bro.
Hey, for real.
Yeah. That was another time that when we were out there, we went to after the club, we went to like Cuban diner. And so I look over and this lady's having a torta de carne asada, right? And I'm like, hell yeah, that's gonna hit the spot right now. So then I tell the lady, I was like, oh, me traes una torta? And then she was like, una torta. And then so to Cubans, torta is a cake, right? Yeah.
Oh, hey,
And
it
so
still
she's
exists.
like, she's like, una torta, and I was like, yeah, and she was like, no, we don't have that here, right? So then I look over, I was like, well, what are those? Like, she's like, oh, this is un sándwich de bistec. I was like, all right. Yeah. I was like, well, give me one of those. Then,
I call it a Cuban panini. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. And then,
Mexican torta.
So you went to Florida, but what other places? Did you
what
go?
other big city?
We went to Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it was everything was I think we were in New Mexico, like a lot of states here, dude. Yeah. So
How like I know that some bases aren't that cool. So how do you deal with a like a crowd that was there ever any crowds that just weren't rocking with you or like
all the time, dude, all the time.
And
yeah,
what
because
do you do? Like it's so
like
weird,
you gotta think, dude.
It's
Like
weird.
when you especially when you open up for an artist, right? Like nobody's there to see you, dude.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. She talent show.
And yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I've been there, right? I know. It's a
like the you got to go up with that mindset already, dude. Like, and so our mindset was like these people don't know us and they come to see us, So like the best thing we could do is like at least put on a good show for them, or make them vibe to whatever we're doing, right? So you kind of go out there and just do your best, dude. And not everybody, you have to accept that not everybody's gonna rock with you, like right, like no matter what. Like some people just don't care to see you, which is fair. Like if I paid to see Jay-Z, I don't want to see Jay-Z's cousin perform before him, right? So like yeah. So like you got to go up there with that mindset, dude. Like, but it's all good, right? Like do your show, and that's why we would like a lot of our shows, dude. Like we would incorporate like a lot of just beats that people were familiar to, and just like spit our own thing to it, right? Like just so they can vibe to certain songs, make people sing along, get that crowd interaction.
One of them being Molotov Puto.
Oh yeah. So that was at the Calle 13 concert, I think, in Mexicali. And so we introduced Jess to that song.
So you go in there and you're like, as an opener, you're expecting the next talent. You can't you're expecting to open up the I guess the feeling to get everybody introduced to the music.
Yeah, I mean,
the vibe.
You're hyping them, dude. You're hyping them up for the big show, right? And at the same time, you're putting yourself out there so people can see, like, oh, okay, and so like for example, at that show, we had a really good show, and the crowd was turned up, and it was a good crowd, right? Like they were just feeling it, and so just you got to get creative. As far as like what you're gonna do when you get out there, like you can't just go out there and rap over your songs, dude, because nobody's gonna care, right? And then at a concert, dude, you can't hear lyrics, right? So like I don't care how dope I am, you're not gonna be able to hear me and understand, and you're never gonna leave a concert and be like, oh my god, that dude was dropping dimes, you know, like
That's
it was
true.
fucking,
Like, hey,
yeah.
write this one
Got a
down.
great-
man.
I got a
This
great
guy's
message
good.
out of that.
This guy's
Yeah,
good
yeah.
right
These
here.
dudes are clever, right? Like, they're not- you can't-
Yeah. Yes, definitely. That's another perspective I, never considered.
But it's good to look at it that way because, like, I would have like. I mean, if I would have been a rapper, I probably would have got butthurt. Nobody's vibing to your shit. But if you go with that mentality, already, like, hey, I know they're probably not gonna feel me, but I'm gonna do my best to rock.
At least one, that's
Yeah, exactly,
It's a
dude. Like
win.
if you live out of there and 5 people, out of
Rock
1,000
your
are
shit.
rocking
Make their
your
day
shit,
better,
right?
you know what I mean? Why not?
Or when you see people after the show, they're like, hey, dude, you did your thing out there, like good
Yeah.
shit, right? Like
Yeah.
even if you're lying,
Yeah,
they don't have to say that, like they don't have to come up to you and say it. So yeah, it was definitely yeah, and you know what's funny, dude, is that like you always get nervous before you go.
Oh,
up
yeah?
there.
It never
dude.
changes?
It never gets
never changes, never gets better.
Refrigeration and shit. No yakking before. Fucking.
Wash your fucking
Nah,
trunks
I'm
for
having
like a week or
a
something.
couple drinks. Have a couple drinks. Yeah.
Couple.
Sometimes a couple. Oh yeah, dude. I got some. I got a story about that, dude. Like, so there was a big concert in Mexicali, and it was it's gonna be like Pitbull, Nina Sky, Nori, Cypress Hill, I think like Chingo Bling, something. Anyways, so my boy comes down, and we were hanging out, and he's like, hey, he shows up and he has a 36 pack, right? He has a cooler with a 36 pack. So we start drinking at the house. So we head to the show, and there's this guy. He was like our little butler or whatever, dude. He was like
Nice,
there to
yeah.
take care of us, right? Like, yeah, it was cool, yeah. And so he was like, "What do you guys need?" And we're like, "Oh, maybe some beers. Can you get us some beers?" And this was early, dude. It was like probably like I don't know 4 p.m. Right? It was like an all day thing. So he was like, "What do you guys drink?" And we're like, "Oh, some Tecate Lights or like light beer, right?" So he shows up with reds, like Tecate Rojas, right? And so we're just like, all right, well, fuck it, dude. Yeah. So then we're just start going at it, right? Before we know it, we kind of lost track of time. We're feeling a little tipsy, dude. Yeah, dude. And
Agarraron
so,
la peda.
yeah, before the show, right? So then I'm like, hey, dude, I told my boy Derek, I was like, Derek, I gotta go to the restroom, dude. Like, I'll be right back. So I'm doing my thing in the porta potty. And all of a sudden, my phone starts ringing, and he's like, "Hey, Slick," he's like, "They're calling us on stage already." Like, you gotta hurry up, bro. Yeah, so we get on stage.
And who's
dude.
is this fat group of people gonna actually wait for you to come out?
Yeah, probably not, dude. They're just gonna be like, "Oh, they missed their time slot. Like they're done next,"
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll get that night was a mess, dude. I get on stage, we start the song that is called "Ring the Alarm," and it was like a pretty hype song. And I would go first, right?
Yeah.
And so I started rapping, and like 2 bars in, like I forget my lyrics, dude.
Damn.
Luckily,
bro.
luckily Luckily, my boy, we're always on the same page. So so he saw exactly what was happening. He just kind of kept going. Nobody ever noticed.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I don't remember that performance. Like I just remember forgetting my lyrics,
Damn.
but I don't remember that performance. Yeah.
Some good times, huh?
Yeah. I woke up at my grandma's house. Like one of my boys took me to my grandma's house and just left me on the lawn chair outside of her porch.
Hey, at least he got you fit, man.
Yeah.
Your grandma's house saved my life a couple times.
He was
for
respectful
sure.
enough
I
to
literally
not
got
barge
lost
in.
in X. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he could have knocked or something, Yeah, dude.
Hey, I don't know the relationship with you and your grandma.
Yeah. Like
right here.
My dad came outside to like
What
to,
the
I don't know,
fuck?
check on the car or something.
Yeah.
And she was like, "What's this fool doing here?" Like took me inside. Yeah.
Vagabond, dude.
Yeah.
At what point did you say? So you did the rap thing, and at what point did you say, you know what, this isn't working? Like I'm gonna go finish my schooling or whatever.
I think it was like I won't get too much into it. But there was a few things happened, so where me and the group that I was in kind of parted ways.
Yeah.
I tried to pick it back up with Jess. And I don't know, dude. I think I kind of feel like when that happened, like I kind of feel like I lost my love for it. Like it just stopped being fun, dude. Like when money started getting involved and people act a certain way or like yeah. So like when we stopped seeing eye to eye, all of us, right? It stopped being fun, dude. Like it stopped being fun, and I no longer look forward to like it used to excite me to get into the studio, dude. Like even sometimes we do 5 songs, sometimes we do half of a song, right? But just being in there was a vibe, and it was always fun, dude. And so when like things happened, and we started disagreeing with each other.
Do you
And
think that as you get into it, you start seeing where everybody wants to take their career, and it doesn't seem like everybody's kind of pulling in a certain direction?
I think that when people stop being team players,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
like that happens, right? Not necessarily like, I mean, because uh, it takes a lot for someone to be like, all right, dude, like we're like, I want you to be famous because then we're all gonna be famous, right? Like, right, like so. And not saying it was me or anybody else, right?
Anybody.
It was just in general, like it's just in general, like
it happens a lot.
so. A lot of times, I think when people kind of stop seeing the bigger picture and just start kind of
Yes.
moving on doing things for themselves, like
Yes,
that's when it kind of gets tricky.
That shit happens a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
Even
yeah.
in big bands that have been together for a while, it's like, one person wants to go this way because he wants to go solo and he feels like he deserves better than what the fucking team is.
There's a grateful.
Like, bro, we started together. Like we're in this together. Oh, I've never been in that scenario, but yeah, it sounds like a lot of artists and music go that way. They split up and shit.
There's a quote by the Grateful Dead. It says, we used to play for silver. Now we play for life." And I think that's why that band lasted so long, because these fools, I mean, they made so many tapes and they recorded so many of their concerts, and they could have profited, but they let a certain group of people travel with them and put up open air markets so that they could sell their t-shirts and they could all keep going and live off the music, and not a lot of people see it that way. People see it as a career, and it's 100%, and when even in the psychological theory, when money starts getting involved, then your intrinsic motivation disappears, because now somebody's telling you got to be here at this time, and who knows what he's doing behind your back, and then once one little thing happens, it's like, you can't, the relationships and loyalty are that business is shady as a whole. As a whole,
super, dude. Super.
Everybody's always looking how to milk you,
Or, and like you said, like what does he have going on the side?
the
And what is
side.
he doing in
Yes.
reality, right? So yeah, and I think once it
lot of
stops
that.
being fun, dude, like once you start not disliking something and stop, loving it, whatever it is, I think in life, right? Like people play football their lives and all of a sudden they're like, you know what, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Or baseball players or whatever.
Was there ever some, like, besides the guys you were with that split up or didn't work out? Was there any like show you went to where someone did you dirty, like a promoter or anything like that?
They say to accept. They say to accept the money beforehand. A lot of artists say. Was there any situations like that?
Nah, dude. I don't think so, dude.
Because I've heard a lot of comedians go out there.
Uh-huh.
Always like fucking get gypped, or they're not big stars yet, so they'll go show up and they'll be like, "Oh, we're not paying for your hotel, or we're not gonna do this."
Well, all that needs to be settled beforehand, dude. Like before when they send a contract out or whatever, like you need to, give a price and work or agree on a price, and then you need to work all that out, like to get your hotel paid, or because a lot of like you said, new comedians or whatever, like you don't have a following yet, right? Like you're trying to establish yourself. So like, I'm already paying you to perform, dude. Like, why am I gonna pay for your hotel room? Like, then I don't want to be an asshole about it, but it's reality, right? Like it's just the way they are. Like that's the
Who
way
are
they see
you for me
Who are
to
you
pay
exactly
your hotel?
Yeah. So I think I think you need to be careful who you do business with, right? In all aspects, right?
Every industry.
Yeah, but no, we never got gypped. No, everybody was always come correct. That was a lot of Carlos is doing of making sure that we're always taken care of. Yeah. So
there's horror stories of people getting their royalties. All of a sudden, it's like, who's got your royalties? Who's got all of your stuff? And then
like you motherfuckers owe me some royalties.
When? Really? Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah. See, prime example,
Prime example, right? Yeah. No, I'm joking, man. I'm joking. It's cool.
Yeah, this dude I know. Shout out to Oscar and Jess. The intro that you guys heard to our podcast. It was done by them. That's their song. It's a pretty good song. Hopefully, we could upload it so people could hear the whole song.
Yeah.
We could get that going. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, so now you don't do the rap thing no more, and you got to being a teacher.
Yeah.
What was the little change?
Right?
What really? What was that? What was? Because dude, you could study anything. And then when I talk to you from you don't. It doesn't. The first thing I think is your position, your professional job right now. I would not think that. So it's like, cool. you know. But
nobody
was
ever does, dude. It's so funny, like crossing the border or something. Like, what do you do for a living? I'm a special ed teacher.
What?
And they were like, what? Like, like when I remember, it was hilarious, dude.
They're like,
that's
yeah,
odd.
I'm the president.
That makes me believe.
This one dude told me one time, he was like, well, you don't look like a special ed teacher. And I was like, what do they look like, bro? Like,
They're like secondary.
yeah.
Come
Like,
on,
what do we
let's
look
go.
like? Do we need a pocket protector?
Yeah.
Or like, it was I actually I got my degree in psychology, and like I said, I was so caught up in the music that I never really gave it thought to like, what am I gonna do, right? And I went through the whole process to join the border patrol, right? Like right when I was I was doing music, but then it got to the point where I was like, all right, dude, like what are you gonna do? I think I was already like 24.
Transitional period.
Yeah, so like I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like I had no idea. I worked at a school, right, with kids with special needs. And I was an instructional assistant. And other than that, dude, I had no idea, right? So I was just like, what am I gonna do, right? So went through the whole border patrol process. They actually called me when we were leaving to Miami for that festival with a job offer. Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. Yeah. So they called me and I declined. And when I declined the offer, even the lady on the phone, right? She was like, excuse me, like, what? I was like, yeah, I respectfully declined. And she was like, hey, it's none of my business, but usually people are super excited to get this phone call. Can we ask, can we ask why you're declining? She's like, you don't have to answer that. And I was like, no, I want to finish school. And she's like, well, okay, all right, that's a good choice and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
so
that is.
So I knew I didn't want to do that, and it was kind of just like a shocking decision where I wanted to apply and see what happened.
Yeah.
And then before I knew it,
once it came, you were like,
once it came, I just knew I didn't want to do that, dude.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And,
that's what I'd say. That's what I always
It's not
say.
something for me, right? And then so I finished school, and actually I was working at Sunflower, and my supervisor at the time, who's my supervisor now again, she was like, "Hey, there's a job that opened up in Brawley. It's to be a long-term substitute.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be for about 6 months, but you have to quit your position now. And once that teacher comes back, like you're not going to have a job."
What?
So I was like, damn, like I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of figured like, hey, fuck it, like let's do it. So then I got that job in Brawley.
Something was gonna come out from there.
Eventually, I think so. Yeah, I think, and it was just kind of like it. How like everything kind of just happens in a certain progression. Like that's how it happened. Mm-hmm. So I felt like this is it. Like you need to make that change now if you want to do something more, right?
Okay.
So then I did it, and by that time I wasn't doing music anymore. Like here and there I'd mess around with Jess and we'd put something together, but nothing. It wasn't anything serious anymore, right? Nothing. I knew that I wasn't going to pursue it anymore. So then after the gig in Brawley was up, I would still work a lot as a substitute, and then I got a job offer the following school year. Nice. So I mean, something did come out of that, and it kind of just fell into place, dude. Like it just. Like I just figured, like I'm already here. I like what I do. I love working with kids, with kids with disabilities. So it's just something that happened, and it just I felt like it happened the way it needed to happen.
Yeah. There wasn't any force of pulling. And
no. There wasn't no like
I feel that.
Like when during the whole border patrol thing, I would like lose sleep, dude. Like sometimes because I'd be like, damn, do I really want to do this? Like,
oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
damn. Yeah.
So I kind of felt like I was forcing something, and once this other thing opened up, I was just like, it was no brainer.
And then also it's a pipeline of people here. You either go to prison or you work for a government agency or an institution. So it's I think that it's that too, there's not a lot or you go to the military and you get forced into these positions,
right?
So it was like, damn, do I really want to do this? A lot of people just go ahead and do it. Pagan bien, puedes tener tu troquita, whatever, and like, you know,
I mean, you gotta like that, dude, right? You know what I mean? And shout out to all the law enforcement, right?
Definitely.
But you gotta like it, dude. It takes a certain kind of person to do that job, and it's a hard job, no matter how you look at it. But it just wasn't for me, dude.
Yeah.
So
and now, what do you feel like this job is fulfilling inside you?
Yeah, dude.
Every single day you get these lessons that you can never get on a working the border patrol.
Yeah, dude, for sure. It's so rewarding, dude. Like it's just just getting to work and seeing that the kids like you as their teacher, right? Like that's super cool. I have a great staff, um, you know, great support and administration. So it's just it's a fun job, dude.
What do you think
if you like it?
Where do you think you fit in? Because I'm sure there's not many teachers like you, you know. So where do you fit in the whole? And what's the dynamic like with all the other teachers and like how do you guys share information about the ways that you do your classrooms and operate? You know, because I don't know much about the little system that they have for special needs.
So it's they're called professional learning communities, right? PLCs, right?
Okay.
So in El Centro right now, I'm the only middle school teacher with students with moderate to severe disabilities, right?
Okay.
So yeah. So there's because Kennedy is the only school with the classroom. So the teachers that I get to meet with are either my peers at work, right? But they don't work with special ed kids, or like teachers from younger grade levels. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you can elaborate as best as you can to answer your question. Like you kind of something's not working. Yeah. If something's not working, you kind of ask around till you get your answer, or I don't know, a lot of times you just figure it out, dude.
Because like for instance, you didn't. I mean, there's not a lot of you can't say like, oh yeah, I have a family of disabled people. I talk to them all the time, you know. So it was it different from because. Do you have any family members that are disabled? Or
I don't. No, I don't. But like growing up, in Mexicali, the family next door to my grandma's house, they had, I think it was like three kids with Down syndrome. Okay. So we were always around it. My mom was a special ed teacher.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I was always around it, like ever since a young age, dude. So I was always, after school, I'd go over to her classroom, get to meet her kids, things like that. So it was it's just what I knew, honestly. Even when I was doing music, I worked in a classroom. I was an instructional assistant in a special ed classroom. And so it's what I know.
do you feel like there is a certain like kids with special needs? I know that there's different, not to categorize anybody or to put anybody in there, but tienen las mismas costumbres that you see in between them, like the same habits.
No,
in your past, or every single kid is a clean slate and.
Absolutely, dude. Just like they're regular kids, right? Like they're just have some kind of disability. That they're no different. It's just the way they learn is different, or the way they view things are different, or the way they react to things are different, right?
Yeah.
But then it's like all of us, right? Like I don't know. You might walk outside and you love hot weather. And I hate it, right? And I'm miserable on a hot day.
Yeah.
And you're like that type of person that doesn't bother you, right? So it's the same thing, dude. Like just reaction to things is a lot different, and but they're all every single one of them is his own little world. Yeah.
Have you ever had issues with the way the school treats the kids with ableism? Like kind of treating them as less.
Well, like,
have you ever felt like tenías que ser like fight for them.
You have to advocate for them. You have to advocate for them, for your kids to be included. Not always. Like I have before in the past. I've had to take on that role, right, as an advocate. Like, hey, we're not being included to assemblies, or like, how come we didn't get invited to this? Like, or why can't we join another PE class? Like, but I've also been at schools where like que me regañan porque no los llevo, like, hey, Mr. Gonzalez, we didn't see you at the assembly today, like, what's going on? Like, yeah.
Hey, okay.
So I mean, it all depends on who's running the show, I think, dude.
Okay.
Like, so
yeah.
So I think a lot of places, and since I started working to like now, it's a lot different, dude. It's a lot more inclusive now.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Okay.
Yeah.
As much as we bitch, like, like. Things are getting softened up sometimes. I mean, in some aspects, some softening up includes people from different.
Well, like that's what we were talking about yesterday. It's like kind of like we are living in a world that's getting more and more empathetic. Empathetic to a lot of things, right? So even if you don't agree with it, it's not a bad place, dude. Like, I think sometimes this world needs to be softer.
Yeah, definitely.
So I wanted to talk about you as a father. Because I'm having a daughter soon.
Yeah. Congrats, man.
You're having you had your boy. He's old already. I know him as Tubby, but he ain't
Tubby no more, dog. Yeah.
But, you that grew up without a father being present. I know that because I know you
Yeah.
personally. Your mom did a hell of a job with you. Um, how did you, feel raising your son differently than you were raised? How is that
Um.
positivity affected your life?
Well, I think that as a parent, like you always want to, you never want to put your kid through things that you went through, right? Like, or do your best doing it. So like I feel like all the things that I didn't have, like in my dad, like I wanted to be that, like I wanted to be present for him. I wanted to be there for him. Like I wanted him to have a friend, like that he can count on, and also be that authority figure, like also be there to, to
Be a
tell him
man.
like, hey, dude, like yeah, like don't do this, don't do that, like look people in the eye when they're talking to you, like just those life lessons that um I my dad wasn't around, but one of my mom's brothers, he took on that role, and so he kind of like turned me and Primo, my cousin, to give us that manly advice, so I think that definitely helped, and they gave me a father figure, and it gave me a father figure that I kind of wanted to mimic, when it comes to my son, and it's funny because when we were kids, sometimes we couldn't stand that dude, right? Like we'd be like, man, this dude is rough, dude. Like he's just honest all the time and
What's
just
his
kind of,
deal, bro?
yeah, exactly,
What's
yeah,
his
Well,
deal? Why can't
dude,
he
like,
just
yeah.
chill
yeah,
out?
like the military, like
Yeah.
and my mom used to send me and my cousin out there for like vacations, dude. Like right, so
¿Cuál es
like
vacation?
yeah,
Vacation.
¿Cuál es vacation?
yeah, yeah.
It got to
So like
So
boot
like
camp.
summer, dude, like
Yeah.
summer we'd go out there and we'd be like, what the
Summer
fuck are
camp.
we doing here, dude? Like and now it's like sometimes I'll laugh at myself because I'll find myself being him with my son, right? Like yeah, I walk in there like I don't know 8 in the morning, and be like, hey, dude, you need to hang up all your shit. Why is it all on the ground? And I'll be like, damn, me estoy haciendo mi papá, like so. Yeah, dude. I think to answer your question, I think that you 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 want to be there for them, dude. Like you want to be there for them, dude. And it's crazy, dude. And I know like you guys, I don't know, live to like the same thing, but like the older they get, right? Because, dude, like, and it's just me, and I don't know if like I'm gonna sound wrong for saying this, dude, but like,
Nah.
you know how people always tell you like, as soon as you see your baby, like as soon as you see your baby, like oh my god, like you can experience a love that you've never. That's not true, bro. That's not true. Nah, dog. Nah, that's not true. It's a great feeling, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I was in tears. It's beautiful, right? Like to know that you created a life, right? But it
Yes.
wasn't like, oh my god, I'm so deeply in love now. You know what I mean? Like, you got to take care of them. You have to like, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Like, you have to, like, you're there to right, but it's not. So, like, the older they get, pues, te empiezan a encariñar, and I'm pretty sure that's different for moms, right? Because like, girls carry the baby, so
Yes,
that's
they already met him.
yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit or them,
a little too much, right?
Yeah. My mom, shit.
So I think for girls that's true. Like a girl, they live with the baby for 9 months,
You
dude.
just dap him up. What's
Yeah.
up, big bro? Hey, so welcome, dude.
Yeah. You're on the outside now. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think I think that the more time goes by, like the more you fall in love with your kid,
Yes.
and the more like the more as time went on, dude, the less I understood like how a dad could just bounce and not talk to the kid, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
yeah. The more
Definitely.
as time goes on, dude, still I like sometimes I'm still just like, how, dude? Like how do you just? It's cool if things don't work out, bro. Like we've all been through that, but like
Yeah.
you still have somebody else, like you know,
Yeah.
counting you or
That
should not
loves
be
you.
around. Yeah, exactly, dude.
Some people view
That's wild, bro.
livestock way.
I'm not a father, and
It's
I
like
don't, and I don't
livestock.
get it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, how the fuck?
That is wild to me, dude.
Yeah, how,
Hey, hasta un perro, dude, like a dog, bro. It's like, how you gonna go
Yeah.
dump him out in the?
Yeah.
You got him, man.
Like my wife said
Not to
something this
compare,
morning.
but
That this morning or yesterday, she was like even she's like, I don't get how some girls are like unfit mothers, right? She was like, but because even animals like know how to be a parent, right? Like even animals when they have babies, they look after them, dude. So like, I don't get it.
it's
Like,
an instinct. It says sometimes it's some ride in a chip, Like back then, if you were either sociopathic or had like these underlying things that or borderline personalities or who knows, But it was like, oh, pues nomás está así, está rarito, or like se enoja mucho, or like, but it's
Muy
something
corajudo.
more, yeah. But the whole time it's like he's got something wrong, and the hormones are really important.
Yeah.
Hormones are super important,
there's
dude.
people that shouldn't have kids. I mean, that's just
Oh yeah, for sure.
Shit, dude.
the father figure you said you had passed away recently, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I know that was hard for you. How hard was it for you? Because I know I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
Emotion's really not a big part of but I know that this guy was a big part of your life. So how did that
Yeah,
affect
it was rough, dude. It was rough because it was so sudden, bro. And we had been over to his house for his birthday. I think he passed away in August. And we had just been there literally like a month before he passed away. So we're all together. He was a good time. It was a good time, and so it was super sudden, dude. And it was rough, dude. And it was me and Primo had to, his son, his actual son lives in Poland, right, Cheche. So he lives in Poland, and so he's the one that called me. He's like, "Hey, you know what? My dad passed away. I need you guys to go shoot over to TJ to, just handle it till I get there." So me and Primo left, and it was like the first night was kind of just so hectic or whatever that we didn't have time to process it. And then the next day, dude, I think I was doing like my Facebook post or whatever, and they just hit me pretty hard, dude. Yeah, I mean it's rough, dude. Like like it's like losing anybody else that you love, but it's I definitely the thing I miss most is just like like calling him for just hearing from him and calling him and just kind of like
Yeah.
always just getting his because that dude used to talk your ear. I mean you met this dude and he was a he was a
choked up right now, bro.
he was a character, bro. He was a character and
A lot of information stored up into one man.
oh my god,
Ready to
dude, you have
share it.
no idea, bro. No idea. Like a lot of just he was just a character to be around, bro. Like he was that type of person that when we walked into anywhere we walked to, dude, like dudes like used to acknowledge his presence, like so he was like a just a strong man, and so just not having him around, you know what I mean, like having all that energy that because it was always good vibes, dude, with him. So just how having those good vibes and all that energy like that, that's I think what the toughest part is just kind of like not
It'll never be replicated.
nah
Ever.
nah.
Ever.
And it only gets tougher as we get older. We start losing people that are really close to us.
Yeah.
Just because they're older, time passes and shit.
Yeah.
You got to deal with it.
And they're your channel into the future. And like you can ask him, call him about things. You had something happen to you, this with a friend or with this person. Chances are he's already passed through that.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. It's just lo que cala más,
Yeah.
like you
Plenty of advice.
Yeah.
you just gotta hope that you can pass it on to your kid, the
Yeah,
information,
yeah.
because that's really important information. And like there's like a little time travel machine, and when you don't have that time travel machine, you got to make a little bit mistakes.
Yeah, you gotta
You
learn.
know,
You gotta learn
and
the hard way, right? Like the natural way.
Yeah, no está pelada, you
Yeah.
know.
And then a lot,
Never
and
was,
it's actually something that I always tell my son, dude. Like I always tell my son, like I always try to have these little talks with him, right? Like kind of like, hey, dude, everything cool? Like, are you good at school? Like,
Mhm.
everything okay? Um, and they're always like, most of the time it's like, oh yeah, dad, everything's good. Like, oh, yeah, right.
Yeah,
And then once in a while you get that kind of like, hey, dad, like, and then it's some kind of question, right? Like, so I feel like those little conversations and moments just show him that I've told him before too. Like I've been through this, dude, and this, like, I think my hardest age personally, dude, was my middle school phase, dude.
Dude, it's
a
terrible.
weird
It's
fucking age.
terrible.
Yeah.
You're getting boners all the time. You're getting,
Hey, that's where that rumor got started about me that I was fucking jacking off. It was in junior high, bro.
Dude,
fucking animals, bro. What are you doing?
And
The rumor, huh?
and listen, man. Hey, I had forgotten about that. You brought it up.
I know, dude.
Okay, dude, but it's like
Listen.
it's to
Fucking
laugh because
animals.
it's like it's at the time, bro. It's such a shitty feeling, especially if your parents are having fights, if you don't have a
Yeah.
father. It's a fucked up time because other fatherless motherfuckers are assholes too, and everybody's being an asshole to each other, and mad as hell.
dude.
"Tu que la verga,"
Yeah.
That's where they're getting to, their anger that they have.
What's survival? Yeah, they're surviving.
I remember one time at Meadows too. I was in the locker room. All the dudes are in there getting ready for pee, and some dude just pants me.
Yeah.
caught sleeping, bro.
Hey, the water was cold.
Yeah.
That night.
You got a little dick.
And okay, and that's a perfect highlight about how your masculinity can be like,
Yeah.
it could be a shameful ass experience, but as you're in middle school, you're not taking those shaming someone else serious. It's just like, hey, wey, estamos agarrando cura. I don't know, I don't know. Pues, ¿cuál cura?
Yeah.
¿Cuál cura es
Yeah.
esa?
Yeah.
And then
Eso no te
it
dan
shapes
cura.
you. Yeah. And it shapes you, and then now you got these fucking ideas of yourself that you have to break apart, and like not having a steady male figure in your life is will really fuck up those times, you know.
Yeah, and it's a weird age, dude, because so when I first started working at the middle school, the principal, he was like, "Hey, he's like, you ever worked in middle school before?" And I was like, "No, never." So he gives me this book, dude. It's a short book, right? And it's just it's I forgot the name of it, but it's pretty much explaining the age and growth difference and maturity between the sixth graders coming into seventh grade and the eighth graders that are ready to graduate or promote to high school, right? And so, dude, when you think about it this way, it's super gnarly. Like you have kids that are still going home and playing with Legos or playing with action figures,
Yes.
and you have kids that are having sex already,
Yes. Yeah.
you know,
100%,
or
dude.
doing
smoking
drugs or
weed,
smoking or
cigarettes,
whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so when you think about that age gap, and then you put them together in a school, dude, right? You put them together with only that's there's no in between, bro. It's like
Yeah.
you got
Oh,
the
it
little
is
ones and
no.
you got the big ones,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
and so
Definitely.
it's a rough age, dude. So like keeping that in mind, I remember that I used to hate junior high, dude. I used to
Me
hate it.
too.
It was awkward.
Me too,
like
bro.
like I felt like I was weird looking every
Me
day,
too.
like you're
Me
super
too, man.
self-conscious, like so like I always try to just tell my son, like, hey, dude, I've been there before, and it sucks, and I get it, like. So if there's anything I can do to kind of amortiguar el putazo, let me know.
You're
And
feeling all kinds of stuff.
yeah. So just try to keep that.
That's the age where they start identifying brands too.
Oh yeah.
And me growing up, my mom wasn't too big on fucking
You could
Nikes or fucking Mervin pants. So I was going with whatever she bought me.
But Mervin's,
And
And then
shout
when
out to
kids start
Mervin's.
making fun of your Payless shoes and shit, you're like, fuck. Like, damn.
You start to get woken up to this whole side of life that you didn't know, and then it's like kind of like the eating the fruit, other motherfuckers already ate the fruit, and then all of a sudden it's not cool to fucking want to go to recess. Like, hey, people are all like, it was a weird sudden change too. Even food in the cafeteria, kids would say that it was shitty. So that would in turn like make me think that if I was eating this food, then I was fucking bummed. But I was
Bro,
hungry.
first of
I
all,
would love it.
yeah. First of all, cafeteria
Dude,
food is good, bro.
I thought, yeah,
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
But Calexico,
I love my freelance.
Calexico.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you this. When I was going to seventh grade in Calexico, I went to eighth grade in El Centro. No, that's in La Gloria, dude. They were serving some crazy stuff
Here in
sometimes.
Calexico?
Yeah, the weenie would be green sometimes. They would give hot dogs,
They
bro.
overboil it.
Yeah. And like, and it was just like, damn, bro.
Yeah, so the hot dogs are prepackaged now, at least at the school I work at. So they're prepackaged, and that's kind of the hot dogs are still, still not that great. Yeah. But dude, so my daughter's in eighth grade and she goes to Kennedy, right? And her school lunch is cracking, bro. Like I'll be like, hey, what did you have for lunch today? She's like, oh, we had a carne asada burrito, we had birria, like, yeah, dude, yeah, teriyaki chicken with like brown rice, like,
Hey, a general chicken with rice.
General Tao, yeah.
Man, dude, shit.
Taken care of.
Yeah, that's something that I saw.
They get good lunches over there, dude. And then speaking of brands, like she's like that too, dude. Like she's like Anthony, not so much, bro. Like he's always been like, I don't care, like the shoes. He's starting to like pick his own shoes now, right? Like he doesn't want like just white or black shoes anymore, right? But then for example, like pants, bro, like that fool doesn't care.
Yeah.
But my daughter's like more like
Hollister,
mom, like
Hollister,
Hollister, like Abercrombie jeans or whatever.
Yeah.
Nike shirts,
Yeah.
like hoodies or whatever.
I've seen some high school kids with the Ariat gear, man. I'm like,
yeah.
hey, estás jalando, homie.
Hey, they can't even hold the screwdriver.
Yeah.
Gears,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, bro.
I've seen that too, dude. It's funny too because like all these trends, like from when we were younger, dude, they're all coming back, bro. Like like
the
a school.
90s.
You see the food with the Bass Pro Shops, motherfucker. You ain't never been fishing in your life, my man. You know what I mean?
You never seen the bass.
Hey, but the Air Force Ones, they were like not popping for a while. It was like more of the retro
Yeah,
J's.
they
and,
came
like,
back.
the hype, and then boom, big pants. Like
Oh, the big pants are back in, dude. Yeah, I would have saved all mine.
Thank God, bro. Thank God. The skinnies.
Yeah.
The thing I can say about the Air Force Ones is back then keeping them clean was the key. Now they rock them dirty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all good. Yeah, it's all good.
Thank God, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, like it doesn't matter anymore, dude. there's these like there's these new Nike like gym shoes that people are rocking. Have you seen them? They're ugly, dude. Like they're like gym shoes.
Do they
Like
have the
but
air bubble in the back?
nah, those are the Air Maxes. Like they're I don't even know what they're called, dude, but they're hideous, bro. Yeah, and then like
Like those New Balances are fucking.
they kind of look like New Balances. It's kind of like that,
I
dude.
can't stand those.
They're like Senora gym shoes, dude.
Yeah,
They're like in
Senora,
style now. Yeah. Like
but like a 2008 Senora.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. They're back in style now. Yeah.
With a BBL,
Yeah.
what did they call them back then?
Let's move on. Daniel, you got any? What's hot in the streets for us today?
Ooh.
Let's see what you got. You said we were talking about that Kanye album.
Oh,
I haven't heard it.
Kanye just made an AI album, and I'm not sure to what extent it was AI entirely. The video's entirely AI, and it's just like this little kid beating on different people. It's weird. It's a weird thing, but you could tell that. Okay, now he does sampling with AI. This dude made a good album.
You heard it already?
Yeah. It was on YouTube. He just dropped it on YouTube.
Oh, okay. So it's not on Spotify or anything?
No.
Oh, okay.
And I think because of the AI thing, I don't know what's gonna
Yeah,
happen,
yeah.
and the samples aren't gonna get cleared because
Oh,
there's some,
okay.
but you could tell that he's kind of tapping into the old Kanye. To me, it felt like it was like, every genius is insane, you know, and you got to be bad to a certain point. But it surprised me, you know, because people are in the comments are like, "This is a toxic relationship I'm in," you know. Because
Yeah, well, Kanye, you hate him and you love him, right?
you hate him, and then you hear it's like Michael Jackson. You hear him sing, and then all the accusations. A lot of people were like, you know, it's like.
Well, I mean, he's also a marketing genius, dude. So, and the more crazy he acts, the more he stays relevant, dude. Right?
Last episode, this dude had gotten a chain made, and it was a salt sticker chain. And he was
I seen that.
but he's like, yeah, I got the inside studied too, so y'all know. But he was taking the persona that I'm sure that he the black persona that I'm sure that he's kind of doing a parody on, you know.
Yeah,
it seems like,
and I saw in some Instagram comments that they were like, somebody said, "Man, the best thing you could do the worst thing you could do is just ignore him."
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
100%,
but like nobody will, like keep
100%.
posting them or whatever.
100%.
So whatever.
Especially the people that hate him the most. They're the ones that bring him up the most.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he wants. Anything else? All right, we're back. Took a little break. Ski. So I got one. So Yvonne shared this with me the other day. So a man accused of ejaculating in his boss's coffee every day for 4 years.
Damn.
Bro.
How did he get caught?
It's probably a stomach ache when I do this shit, hey, man.
Caught in the act.
My pants
And they
bro.
made eye contact.
I think I had a bad hot dog.
Like drinking it out of a bar. Like,
You got the wrong hot dog juice, huh?
my thing is, how did the boss not notice it 4 years?
It was just good coffee, bro.
Hey, you
strong, man.
don't trust. Hey, if you need something done, do it yourself, dude. Because
Well, he did it himself, all right.
hey,
Into the cuts.
there's one that I wanted to share. There's some Antarctica scientists, right?
Yeah.
And so they sent them out. It's really hard to get in Antarctica. It's Antarctica. Not to laugh, but they said they needed urgent help after a colleague allegedly sexually assaulted and threatened to kill a team member. The teams spending winters at the base are typically cut off for 10 months, with the only escape route being an emergency medical evacuation to a German base nearly 200 miles away.
Damn.
Researchers undergo psychological screenings before being sent there.
So basically,
Oh, yeah, I heard about that place, yeah.
Girl got harassed or something.
Nah.
She wanted a dick.
No, someone was allegedly sexually assaulted on this research and they cut him off. They cut him off for 10 months because there's no way to get anywhere. So if there's a medical
they couldn't call for
evacuation,
help?
they could, but it's 200 miles away.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So this guy raped someone, and now he's getting blamed for it. And now there's a team of scientists going on right there. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
In Antarctica, but they say that they do the psychological screenings before. But
Did you and I thought of you when I saw the headline, but did you see that they discovered like something
Under the
underground in the
pyramids?
pyramids?
Under the pyramids?
What
Yeah.
I didn't.
yeah,
I saw the headline. I didn't read it, dude, but I did want to ask you about it. They discovered like a whole underground, like I don't know, it was like a city, like another city, like underground under the pyramids. One of the pyramids in Egypt.
and they
Yeah.
said that this would shape the rest of our lives. That it was going to be really important
Right.
because they had a
Yeah.
vast underground city found below Egypt's Giza pyramids. They had been saying that there is a lot of so people there's this guy I'm following on Instagram who finds a woolly mammoth. He has a property. He's a gold miner and he has a property in Alaska, and he finds these bones, and they're belonging to animals that date back way before any history books say. So
Right.
he sends them to get third party tested a lot. So he's been on Joe Rogan's podcast. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of fighting about because of the Bible. The Bible kind of gets everybody on their toes and gets everybody bothered because
Fired up.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the reality, you know. And if people feel like they have a false reality, they're not okay with that. You know, it's really hard, especially if you're older. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you grew up, being told that, right? Like
Yeah.
that's this book is law, right? And then all of a sudden something comes along, and
Some
you're like,
white guy with land in
Yeah,
Alaska
yeah,
is
yeah.
saying this. You know, it's
Yeah.
like damn. But the they say it was gonna change the way. It's too new right now. So archaeology takes a long time, and you have to go with the little brush.
Well, I mean, and they can't damage anything,
Yeah.
right? You can't just go over there
Uh-huh.
and blow a hole on the top of the city
Yeah.
and just kind of dive down there and see what happens.
Or
But-
then you have those terrorists, like certain terrorist groups were burning potteries, books, and stuff
oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
I saw
another.
that, yeah.
That's something else that we have to worry about. You
There's
know?
also like they said there's like booby traps inside the pyramids, right? Like so that would keep people from
Yeah,
like stealing the
yeah,
treasure
yeah,
down there or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Real thing, they actually
Yeah. That's they did booby traps for like because kings and queens used to get buried with so much treasure, so to keep the grave robbers from going in there, they used to do like
And
booby
other
traps.
armies.
Do you
Yeah.
guys
Other
think,
armies that would come
do
over?
you guys think that civilization like died out? It was advanced and then it died out, and now we just started over again, and now we're getting to that tip again, the technological advancement? Or you guys, it's always because like you said, like the dating doesn't match up from the pyramids, all that shit, how they made them and all that. So
I think a lot of like dates, like date keeping is fairly new, right? Like keeping dates and timetables and
Computers,
stuff like that.
computers, files.
Yeah,
papers,
so
like-
I think a lot of the I to me it's crazy how people are like, oh, crocodiles and sharks have been around for 45 million years. Like, how do you know? You know what I mean? They're all estimates, dude. Right? Like it's an estimate. Like how you say like, oh, the dude sends bones to like a third party.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure there is testing, right? That'll tell you like, okay, so many thousand years ago, but still that equation was made by somebody.
Yeah.
Dude, doesn't mean it's right. You know, like
yeah,
like how like what do you see under a microscope or a sample from the bone
yeah,
that tells you it's a billion years old, right? Like there's an equation that was set, put in place to figure that out, right? Like so I mean that could be wrong, and so I don't know, dude. Like anything, there's always room for human error, right?
yeah.
And with anything, dude, like with the Bible, with estimating like time,
And
like,
even with your own mind, you can only remember so much because you forget lessons. Imagine at the
Yeah.
large scale, like I was thinking about this the other day, that there's little lessons that you could capture in your life and you just forget them. And like I feel like there's a lot of stuff that we have forgotten about, a lot of things, just because it gets taken with time. Like the things don't last, structures don't last. It's a reminder
yeah,
that structures don't last. But I mean, people weren't even record keeping for a long time. you know?
that's what I mean. Yeah,
So there's a lot of things going on rather than like people are trying to survive. Obviously, there was no time. People didn't even know how to read.
yeah.
A lot of people didn't know how to read. So
still don't know how to read.
Yeah.
so it puts it into perspective that if you wanted to withhold fucking information from a kingdom, like you could really fucking do some terrorist.
And I think we're living that now, right? Like disinformation and information manipulating information.
Movies getting changed. There's
Dude, that's crazy.
movies getting changed from the past to fit the narrative now of what they're trying to promote. Whatever it is they're trying to promote, a lot of people get caught in conspiracy theories, but there's some things that are like,
dude.
Disneyland
We were
rights.
talking about that when you went over to the house the other day.
yeah.
The Mandela effect. You guys heard of that?
Yeah.
but there was a movie that I saw the other day that I remember it different, but I thought I was tripping. But now that you're talking about it, like maybe they did change it.
Yeah, dude. So there's this thing called the Mandela effect, right? So, and then don't quote me, dude. It's probably everybody listening should probably Google this and not take it from me.
Yeah.
But I guess Mandela was the African leader that was imprisoned, right, for like a long time, like wrongfully imprisoned. Nelson Mandela. So then there's people that say that they've seen him in pictures, they saw him in pictures when supposedly he was in prison, right? But so then the Mandela effect came out. So then people are saying like, do you guys remember that movie with Sinbad, the comedian?
Yeah, I know.
It was called Shazam, where he was a genie.
I never saw
But
it.
do you remember it? All right. So apparently this movie never existed.
No way.
Yeah, yeah. If you Google it, dude, supposedly like it'll say like this movie was never made. That people would just think it was, dude. There was another one,
So nobody ever saw the
And they're
movie.
saying,
bro. I saw that movie.
No,
Like
yeah,
I swear to God,
you
yeah,
know what
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
was. I should have copies of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
they're,
No
they're
way.
saying that we're thinking about Kazam.
Uh huh.
It was Shaq.
Shaq,
That's
yeah.
the movie we're comparing it to, and he just did Sinbad just did a skit somewhere as Shazam.
Uh huh.
So
But it was an
we didn't
actual
really have
movie,
it.
dude. Yeah, it was an actual movie, and I'm pretty sure people have it somewhere, right? And there's other like there's a bunch of like watch pull it up on your phone, dude. Like things in the Mandela effect. Like so, okay, Fruit of the Loom. Do you remember it having
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
horn, a cornucopia?
Yeah.
It was supposedly it's never had one. When people are just tripping, like people
Okay,
remember things a certain way, but they're
Right.
It refers to a phenomenon where a large number of people share a false memory of a past event, often something from popular culture that is widely believed to have occurred differently or not at all. It's like watch. I was watching a documentary about Hiroshima and the trauma that it did to the people there. Because
Yeah.
not only did you have bombs, you had a large amount of people seeing dead people, and so people started seeing ghosts together. Like people, a lot of taxi drivers were saying that the people from Hiroshima, the ones that were still really shocked from what had happened, that and also the tsunami too. They were talking about Hiroshima and the tsunami. This one's about the tsunami. So when the tsunami hit the nuclear reactor, after the tsunami hit, then the nuclear reactor went off because of the tsunami, and so they had a double whammy, you know. And so people were there was accounts of taxi drivers saying that people were getting wet into their vehicles, shocked and lost, not knowing where to go, like they had just gone through something.
Right.
But and so when they would take them to the destination, that the guy would just get off and that's it. And it was like a disappearing act, you know, like you say, you get to the destination and you look back and the guy's not there anymore. And so there was a lot of people that were witnessing these ghosts. But
Right.
but it's like it also shows that we all go through these things together, you know, and like people they want to cope with it. They'll cope. I don't know. You how do you explain those phenomenons, you know?
Yeah, but what's the Mandela effect? Is that basically
People have
are they doing something with that? Are they mind fucking us, or is it
it's just
that
a
we
large
really just made it up?
Well, that's
That's
the
the thing.
argument,
That's
dude.
the
That's the
argument,
argument that
man.
people are like,
yeah.
like
Well-
the internet's not going to tell me that movie didn't exist, bro. Because I remember
But
I
think
remember
about
watching it. You know,
Think about it how much we rely on the internet for our history and for our information.
yeah.
We're not looking in books that were made previous to the internet
But I do
that were
remember
distributed,
Fruit
you
of
know?
the Loom. Fruit of the Loom had that little
Yeah, it was
horn
they were like
with
fruits,
the
no?
fruits. Yeah.
So look, so there's a bunch like so look, dude, like so like for breeze bottle, right? Like people remember it being spelled like a breeze, but supposedly it
Yes.
never was. Yeah, supposedly it's Febreze. Yeah.
Like it would go.
Yeah.
That was a commercial, Febreze.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like
Damn, what
so,
is going on?
and there's like
Hey, so, hey, we do live in the Matrix, huh?
okay,
Damn, bro.
this is a good one too. The Monopoly Man. Does he have a monocle?
Yes.
Does he have a monocle? Do you guys remember?
He had him.
I
I
remember
thought
the
he
peanut,
had a monocle.
peanut guy.
Yeah, peanut guy had a
Yeah,
monocle.
I remember it. I think
I always
yeah.
thought he had a monocle.
I remember
Yeah.
a big fan of him.
So supposedly he never had a monocle.
No, he never
So
had
he never
one?
had one. Yeah. So there's like a bunch of things like
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Probably just fucked with
Wow.
us.
It could be sometimes they would say like you'd see his outfit, so you'd think that pop culture has made it seem that everybody dressed like in the tuxedo would probably have a monocle because he has the mustache, and there's a lot of little figures in
Yeah.
pop culture that resemble it.
Maybe, and I think it's it could also be one of those things where like remember you used to play telephone, like we used to play like get a bunch of people together and then start off with like I don't know, green turkey legs, and by the time I got to the other side, it's like something completely different. I mean, it could be very well something like that.
The
right?
loss, there's a law in biology and or in physics that says when the transfer of energy, information is lost. And it could be applied. They say that a lot of Leonardo da Vinci and dudes like that, they used laws to explain other things that would be hypothetical in your own mind, you know? And it's also transferring energy because we're transferring information. We're using energy to transfer information.
It gets lost
Logically, it would be lost.
Yeah.
You can't transfer everything. It's a hard concept, dude. It's a hard concept.
Damn.
It's a hard
Shout out to the
concept.
city
Dude.
store.
They say that a common thing with ADD is finding connections with things, and I feel like I'm constantly trying to find connections with my life. I think that's like a symptom I've read on places that say that
It's
it's like a
human
symptom.
trait to try to find connection.
Yeah, too, but obsessively. It's like an obsessive.
Like everything needs to be connected somehow.
Yeah. Because I think
for it to make sense or what?
Yeah.
I mean that makes sense.
You got any
Not
more,
from over
Daniel?
here. Just kidding.
Let's do one more.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, one more.
There's gonna be Trump included threatened with a 200% tariff on any European alcohol, wine, and spirits.
Oh, I saw that, dude. I saw that.
So it's continuing.
So,
Trump threatened.
So yeah, our Johnny Walker's gonna be pricey, bro. yeah.
It's because I do.
Well, European beer, yeah, dude.
It's a war, dude. That's why everything's really expensive. Is all those.
Getting tariffs too, so they got their lights screwed.
Yeah.
It's a strange time. The wars aren't fought the same way.
See, you're smart.
We all
What
are.
is he trying to impose with that? What is the point of doing
Disrupting the chain? But disrupting a chain or disrupting anything, you're gonna have to take a hit.
Yeah.
You're always gonna have to take. Who's gonna take the hit?
We are, yeah.
Yeah.
People, consumers,
Yeah,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Why is that a good thing?
It's a good thing because everybody they're affected. We're also it's like okay, I'm just showing you who is boss or what's what, and without me, a ver qué te duele más. I'm gonna chop off your hand. Oh, well, I'm gonna chop off 2 of your legs.
Yeah. I
don't have a hand.
It's a pissing contest, dude.
Yes.
It's political
a
power
pissing
move.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And the big thing about it is that we're affected. You know,
Yeah,
we're
the consumer
affected to
pays the
this.
highest price too, because
Like
everything
always,
goes
like,
up, like regardless, right?
Yeah.
So, like for example, I was reading that if they put the tariffs on Canada, right? So we get a lot of
Yes.
wood, iron, and steel from Canada, among other things, right? So what's going to happen? It's going to be more expensive to build a house. House is already
Housing
expensive.
crisis.
Yeah.
There's already a housing
Yeah,
crisis.
already. Yeah.
You affect them in that way, but it's a different war.
Yeah.
It's a different war.
And Mexico too. We get a lot of our produce comes from Mexico. Limes, avocados, mangoes, all kinds of things, bananas, I think. So same thing. Everything's gonna go up. So
Because the produce that they make here, we don't even use it here, right? They use it.
we don't produce enough, dude. Oh, in the valley, like
In the valley, but yeah.
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the food gets thrown away
We're
either way.
exporting-
Oh, yeah.
A lot of it gets thrown away. So there's a different fight going on. It's a different fight, and
that's crazy.
the consumer is gonna pay every single time. It's like who pays in war?
Yeah, we do.
Not the guy in the office.
Yeah.
We do. Our kids, our cousins, our community. So
It's strange times we're living in, dude.
They're very strange because
it's weird.
and coming up in this age, it's like okay. For me, I was very kind of connected to the '90s and the transition of phones coming into our pockets, and the generation past me or the younger ones have not experienced that anymore. So, I was kind of caught two worlds, but now it's completely strange because kids have grown up with a device, access to the internet, dude, and the internet has already been filled with all kinds of shit. It wasn't the same when
think
we
how
were young.
crazy like that is, right? Like if they would have told me in 1997 that one day I'd be walking around with a computer in my pocket, I would have been like, "You're crazy! Like you're insane!" Like one day, if somebody would have told me one day you're gonna be able to send a message or watch videos on your phone or search anything you want to search and download attachments, save music, make music, whatever on your phone in the palm of your hand, I'd be like, no way, dude. I still remember when the iPhone got unveiled, dude. I was actually I remember Carlos told me about it. We were in the studio and they were started talking about the iPhone, dude. They're like, oh, it's gonna be crazy, like no buttons on it, like it's gonna be all touch screen. Yeah, dude. And I remember thinking like, damn, that is pretty gnarly, And at the time, it was like, it's worth like $1,500, like so nobody's gonna have it, right? And look at now, it's even smartphones are affordable now, right?
And that's the perspective of how fast. I think if you're gonna try to stay with the times, really get into AI and have a machine that operates AI and get into it, because that's gonna dictate from what it looks. If in a 20-year span, look at how much changes there were in computers and everything. Imagine now in the 20 years with AI is processing a lot of things that we weren't able to process because our computer is limited in some aspects. But you use a little pal, like, and he could do all the legwork that you were wasting time on. It's just progressing. Imagine like they say, think about the Renaissance time. There wasn't shit happening. Time was still moving. It's like, imagine an explosion. It goes, and then it's like getting faster at the end because it's gained momentum. And then once a movement and a force, where it's like a force, human consciousness is pushing forward, and we're like a force, and it's just gonna keep getting faster as we get tools to. Now, imagine back then, to construct a structure, it had to be over a course of thousands of years. And the good part is that structure would probably last another good amount, but then you start wasting less time on building certain things and start investing that to advancing more, and that only gets faster. It's only going to get faster.
And you feel also it could have been because they were focused on other things, like say like World War.
Yeah, they changed everything. World War. After World War,
times were tougher back then.
After World War, you could have production and things being shipped over, and it became industrial. And that changed everything. We're not we don't have chickens in the back anymore. We go to Walmart and go buy the eggs.
And I bet you wish you had them. Yeah.
That's what people are saying. Then that's what that's part of the awakening that they say right now, is that you have to go to certain places because we don't have a dad to call on the phone for humans and be like, hey, help me out on this situation. We're all new. We're fucking babies. We're babies. Cosmically talking, whatever you want to call it, but we're babies, we're like still in our infancy, and we're still trying to figure out what's happening and what's going on. But we have to be careful, because if the wrong person, we're gonna get enslaved. Humans tend to enslave each other. That's the fucked up part, is that we tend to enslave each other. So that's also like sometimes we're like a pack of sheep just running towards, and we have to, like, I don't know, look at the signs of certain movements and stuff, and just be aware, because it's too late when you realize you're in the trap already. They got you. And the thing goes up.
We'll end there right there. I want to thank Oscar.
Yeah,
bye, brother.
Yeah,
great
time.
Love you.
A great time.
At the same time, you're a friend. You're like a brother, bro. So whenever you want to come on,
thank you.
Have you. Once again, thanks for the intro too.
Appreciate that.
I'll get you algo para los chicles.
Get my attorney's letter. Hey, dude, I didn't get to ask you though. How do you feel about becoming a dad and all that? Speaking of,
you know what? It feels good, man. To be honest, it feels good. I'm nervous.
Good. I'm prepared.
It's like
press conference.
Nervous that you feel because you have to take care of a child, right?
Yeah.
And something you've never done before, basically. Just Daniel was a kid or whatever. But everybody says the same thing, like you said. It's just this amazing feeling that you're gonna get.
He said,
you're not. No, just kidding. Nah. Okay, it is.
Romanticizing shit.
I think it could be that they oversell it to you.
They do.
I get it, but tampoco.
No, bro. Like, so check this out. The reason I gauge that, the reason I gauge that, so because Galindo was like, no way. Like the first time I saw Ariana, like as soon as I held her, like, oh my god, like you're gonna feel this love that you've never felt before, and this and this and that. And like I said, don't get me wrong, dude. Like when I saw my son, like I started bawling, dude. It was like insane, like you just can't believe it, right? And yeah, it's a very emotional moment, dude. But when I didn't feel that, dude, I was just like, damn, I'm gonna be a terrible dad, dude. Like, yeah. So that's what I'm asking you, like how
different feelings,
Yeah.
Like sometimes, Dom will say herself, like when we first found out, oh, I'm excited. She's jumping up and down, and I'm like, well, let's not get too excited. Let's make sure, this is everything's legit. It's gonna dock.
Yeah.
You're not excited. I'm well, yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna jump up and down.
Yeah.
Because we have different personalities. It's not gonna go that way. But I'm excited to just have a daughter. I've always wanted to have a kid. That was something I wanted in my life. I know some people don't want that, but I did want that. You know, I actually wanted a boy growing up, like just thinking about it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted a boy. But then seeing my niece and everything, I thought a girl would be way better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Especially since they're closer to their father.
Yeah.
Figures. You know, but I'm excited, man. You know, it's gonna be a crazy journey. You know, everybody says you get no sleep. I don't even get no sleep now. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
Sleeping
yeah.
dead.
You know,
Yeah.
a lot of things that people don't talk to you about is dealing with the pregnant girl. They
Yeah,
tell you
they
about
don't, dude. Yeah, yeah, they don't. Yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
they're already hard to deal with. I imagine.
Yeah,
pregnant.
yeah.
You already have things you deal with your wife or girlfriend for other people, but you know, pregnancy is a big deal. Hormones change, you know, personalities change, attitudes change. So there's a lot to deal with in itself.
Hormones.
You know, yeah. So you know, that was been a big surprise, but luckily it hasn't been that bad, you know, because I hear some guys, you know, they say like, my girl's.
She hates me. Yeah, yeah. She hates me. Right. Yeah, yeah.
Dang.
Bro, it ain't that bad.
No, that's some other issue there.
She doesn't do anything at home, you know. She just lays in bed, you know. Luckily, my wife, you know, she still cooks. She still does everything. You know.
Yeah.
She's not handicapped. She's pregnant. That's all I was talking about. Handicapped.
That's right.
That's what it is. But yeah, to answer your question, you know, I'm excited. You know, different journey in my life.
Yeah, that's good, man.
It took me to be 38 to do it. You know, some people did it at 21, but you know, I think this is the best time for me.
That's it. Yeah.
Everything
Good.
happens for
Pa que
a reason.
tener un hijo when you know.
Oh, yeah.
When you can't be a
Well, you're
father,
never
right?
really
When you
ready.
can't be a good dad, right? Like, yeah.
And I was always with that thought process. I want like, you know, it's not. It didn't work out this way, but I've always wanted the things aligned. You know, financially, you know, relationship wise, I wanted it to be right. You know, it isn't always the case. You know, is it the right time? It's never right. It's never the right time.
No.
It's never the right time, but it feels like it's a good time right now. So you know, it happened in God's hands. You know, He made it happen right after the wedding. So you know, it's a sign. It happened, and we're gonna go from there.
No, that's good, dude. And it is, you know, timing. It's all about timing, I think, right?
Again, Oscar.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for
Thank you guys
coming
for
out.
having me,
We'll
dude.
do this again. Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
let's do it.
Three brothers. We're out.
Peace. Love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Got drinks, got smoke, got weed, got all the girls, got everything we need. And I see them all. But who brought the fat girl? Drink another, smoke another, get retarded. I know this where the party is, so get this bitch started. And if you want some liquor, girl, you can go and lick a girl. Get in it, pop into like 6 in the